It's got that old school look to it. I like it.
Yeah, I've got 260 degrees of shootability, and this is my deck. The rails are measured just right there to hold the gun.
Oh, okay.
So hello and
we're live.
welcome to Just Domestic. I figured I'd go ahead and hit the live buttons, being how we've been sitting around and bullshitting. Welcome to Just Domestic. I figured I'd go ahead and hit a little bit of amateur hour going on here tonight. But as it stands, start off in the semi-usual fashion. Maybe.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Thank you for that. Got a few people joining out in the side chat already. Good to see people coming in. Just Domestic tonight. Scotsman had to go do his thing. So we've got obviously the typical YouTube auditor viewer, and this is my channel. PO7 tonight by the hand side. Just YouTube auditor, note that. Got Warsaw Patriot, Gun Loving Grandpa, Edward Petty out there, Bearded CB82, Gun Snob, Redbird 491, Pops Quest was out there earlier. Yeah, good to see people jumping in.
That's messed up. You mess with the Zen Master like that.
Yeah, I should just call him Turbo. But with that said, how are you, Battle Bean?
Well, good evening, everybody. It is I, the Battle Bean. I'm doing great, guys. We're getting a lot of freaking fires here in California, and of course, the air quality we're suffering. It's been pretty bad the past 4 days, so just been chilling inside the house, man, and trying to stay sane. So that's all I got. Much love to you guys. I appreciate everybody joining us.
Awesome. Screaming Skull Saloon jumped in. Andy Faulkner. Yep. Join the CZ family today with a Suppressor Ready PO7. Love it. Absolutely love it. Next on my list is Daniel. God is my judge. How are you doing this wonderful evening on your gorgeous flipping porch?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I only had to work 20 years to get this porch. Oh, no, I'm a hillbilly. It's a porch.
Okay, porch.
Not only those fancy
whatever.
Only those fancy boys get decks, whatever. The only deck I know of is on a ship. That'd be a flight deck. But I'm doing pretty good, feeling pretty snarky. Is this the end of the? This is Sunday. Okay, this is the end of the weekend. I can't remember what I did, and I don't drink, so either I'm getting old or it was an awesome weekend. And thanks for the invite.
Absolutely. Good to see Kingpin jumping out there. Island Gal 57, how you doing, cutie? Fresh Fowler. And also here in the room, the professional amateur. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, gentlemen. Had a nice weekend. Shot 2 competitions. Did a lot of driving since Friday. But happy to do it. I feel really good. Finally, at least in the competition world, we're opening up. But in the other end, the states are closing down even more. So I don't know what the hell. Anyway, I'm doing good.
Well, and seen a little bit of match footage there out of you. Before the show, Professional Amateur was talking a little bit about it, and there's some things about that kind of amazed me. But apparently, one of the grand the guy that won overall, 21 years old.
Yep, 21-year-old grandmaster.
21-year-old grandmaster.
You know, this shit sounds like a fucking Ku Klux Klan fucking rally. I won a grandmaster. No, I am a master. No, I am the grandmaster, biatch. Ah, that's just
I'm
following.
hating.
No, Mario, you're totally confused. It's a Star Wars thing. Okay? Like Master Yoda. A young Luke Skywalker blew away the match.
God, don't tell me you're my father because I'm fucked.
Well, speaking of Star Wars, you know why Darth Vader made everybody call him Darth, right? Use his first name? Because he didn't like the way his name sounded when they called him Master. Master Vader doesn't have a good ring to it.
Damn it, man! I missed it.
We do have two of the appointed competitors do their 2-mile runs, and turned out great videos on them both. Mr. Mario Mosen ponying up and not even taking a breather at the mile mark, just going straight on through.
Yeah, dude. That was pretty pitiful. I usually do like 8-minute miles, but I'm getting on my retirement form. So, I haven't been running as much. But it's all good, though. I enjoyed it. Anything for a good cause, man. I appreciate everybody watching my video because I know it was kind of boring, but
No, it wasn't boring for me. You got some beautiful area to be jogging around. It's a good time. That plus, seeing Val sweat and that music. I don't know how you weren't gonna get a copyright strike for that.
Oh,
but
I did. I didn't care. I got a copyright strike, but it means I can't monetize it. So whatever monetization.
freaking Eye of the Tiger, man. I'm like, damn, really, dude?
Well, I had to.
That was hilarious.
No other
I was
way.
laughing my ass off. It was great entertainment, bro. Thanks.
well, and you did it so fast, I couldn't tell when it was sped up and when it wasn't.
I actually amazed myself that I did it. I definitely couldn't do it like Mario. Just turn around. Oh, mile's over. Let's do another mile. I needed that break. That beer came in handy.
No, I laughed my ass off when you said that the neighbor or the lady came out, and when she saw you drinking that beer, she went back inside. I was like, what the fuck, dude? You done scared the shit out of her, bro.
So, hey, Mario, that thing you had on your front when you were running, was that like one of those modified little baby holsters, where you can put the baby in it and run?
No. I hate putting my phone like on my freaking sleeve or my arms. So I bought this fucking tactical bullshit fucking thing called I call it a little tactical pouch. But it's cute though. Chicks dig it, so don't hate. Just saying.
I was surprised you wasn't running and having your Camelback on. That way you had something to drink the whole thing.
No, actually, I run better without a drink. And then after I've done is when I drink. I have a tendency of always hydrating first before I even go on a run. I've always been that way. I don't like drinking them.
It must be a difference between the Army and Navy on how we PT. The Navy, we drink before, during, and after our PT.
Everybody's different. I think it also has something to do with everybody's body's different. You know, I got that fucking. I got that fucking Mayan blood, man. Apocalypto and shit. You see me. I know you see me on fucking, you know, I'm the motherfucker cutting the motherfucker's head. You saw me, man. I had the little fucking feathers and shit. I was looking fucking beautiful, man. And I was like, okay. And I killed that motherfucker, and that fucking head went down like fucking 30 feet down that fucking pyramid. I was a shit, bro. I was like, damn, man. I was like, I should have got an Oscar for that motherfucker. Just saying.
I thought they cut the hearts out.
Hey, Craig,
no, man, cut the head.
What the hell is the PT?
Physical training, but
physical
then during we'd have to do a physical fitness test, and so we would drink 2 beers before we would run, and have the mixed drinks in the Camelback, and we'd have that to sip on during the run, and somewhere in the middle we didn't care anymore, so we always look forward to it.
I don't know, but RHPT means physical therapy.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Grandmaster. Just want to make sure we got it right now, so you understand what PT means now.
I wish I was a Grandmaster.
Welcome, Greg Lee. Greg Lee is a buddy of mine. He's former Air Force.
They sing Kumbaya afterwards. Cool, like it.
I know. More than likely, the physical therapy in the Air Force is what, standing up out of your chair and then sitting back down, or?
Oh, they were one of the first services that started having chiropractors in the hot. You know, if you go to an Air Force hospital, you got to see a chiropractor, and if that didn't work, they recommended acupuncture. They're all about, you know, the witch doctor.
You know, the Air Force is all about fucking customer service. They put a fucking suggestion box says, "How are we doing?" I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know what it is? In the Army's like, next. Who the fuck is next? Next. You know? That's all we fucking do. We got no damn customer service. How we doing? Fuck no. The Air Force does though.
See, I know that in Russian Navy, especially on the submarines, those guys are only ones looking forward for the exercise, because that's the only time they get to go upstairs.
Yeah, I could see that there. They take them up, they get them on deck, they dive the sub, and they said, we'll be back in an hour to pick up anybody that's left alive.
Craig said they only do 1.5 miles. What the fuck is that?
Once a year. It's just to see if you have a cardiac arrest or not.
Oh, the Air Force, they do have it made. They will build all the facilities, and starting with the barracks, the club, the gym, even before they build the hangars for the planes. And then sometimes, you know, they'll take missions and have all this stuff ready and not even have the planes yet. So the Navy has to go do the flying part. And I can speak to this because I did it for 8.5 years. That's where my expeditionary came in. We augmented. We went to all the Navy's, the Air Force's mission out there in the Gulf and flying it because they got rid of all their electronics planes.
You know what really pissed me off about the Air Force is that when I was in Iraq, these assholes were getting like $400 more a month. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. They get $400 a month on their living expenses because the living expenses where they were at in Iraq is not up to Air Force standards. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Are you shitting me, man? You're going to get $400 more than I am. And I'm over here taking bullets. Your ass stays inside. I'm going to go outside the fucking wire. Mm-mm.
Hey, don't hate the player. Hate the game. But I hate workups for the Air Force. You go to Las Vegas instead of a ship. I mean, the hardest thing, on a ship, you're stuck there 24 hours. At least when you do the workups with the Air Force, you're there for, 12 hours every other day. And the rest of the time there, you're trying to figure out if you're going to take a hit or if you want to play craps or just go hit the buffet.
Yeah, you're all complaining. You should see the fucking military I was in for a year. Jesus Christ, everything was outdated. Goddamn radio station that we use was over 20 years old, and on the beginning it was 20 years when they brought it in the service, it was already obsolete. When I was in
kind of ass backwards from what they do here in the States. They take the old technology that civilians don't want to use anymore and put it into the military.
When I was in the school for first 3 months as a radio guy, they taught us the Morse code and all the other bullshit, right? So the truck, well, basically trained for a specific radio station, right? So the truck had these antennas on top of the roof. So we had these antennas hanging from the ceiling in a classroom. So once you dialed everything in, the CO went to the fuse box and he flipped off the main breaker, and all the fucking neon lights stayed lit. That's how much shit was up in the air. He goes like, anybody wants to try to have a kid next month? Good luck. So they pretty much didn't give a shit about us. There was when we went to shooting range, there was no fucking eye protection, ear protection, none of that shit. The fucking gun that I had was made in like '59. Every 2 years it changed hands. It was beat the shit. God knows what it shot. It was a shit show. Like to this day, I do not understand why Slovakia has a military. If you look at the map, we're such a small country in the middle of fucking Europe. Anybody around us decides to invade us, they can beat us with the fucking heads. Okay? And then our almighty military decides to buy F-16s that can't even make a fucking U-turn over our own country. Like, why the fuck do we need that shit? Like, come on. You know? But did my service, did my year, done. You know, paid my debt to my nation.
I think everybody should do it after high school. At least go in for a year.
I don't know. If you ask me, that I didn't learn a damn thing. It was a waste of my time. That's all it was. I mean, yeah, you get a couple of habits. You make your bed. You do this. Keep your shoes clean. But other than that, like I didn't really pick up any fucking skill. The Morse code, Jesus Christ, I barely knew it while I was in the military. I forgot that shit 3 months I was out. So that was about it. So there was no real skill. Like for example, if you went in as a driver, at least you get your CDL license, so you can use that in the civilian world. Or if you're like a specialty, like a crane operator or some shit like that. But most of the guys, it was a waste of fucking time.
I look at it. Well, the angle that I'm looking at it, these young kids out here could use a year in the military. Or as soon as they graduate, just to grow up.
Yeah, listen, the way I'm looking at it, if the parents didn't do a good fucking job, the military ain't gonna do shit. Not especially in a fucking year. And especially in this political climate when everything's gotta be politically correct and this and that. God forbid you can't yell at anybody. Even like I did a job a couple of years ago for this high-ranking officer from Marines, and even he was retiring. He says, this is not a corps that I signed up for. When I signed up, it was like, you would tell like if we want you to have a family, we will issue one. Now it's like all apologies and bullshit and whatnot. So it's like it's not the same. Everything changes, and I think the military is changing with it. I'm not trying to take down from our great military. I'm just saying the whole political bullshit that's in the world, it's getting in there as well. So
yeah, I would really have absolutely no clue if the politically correct agenda is getting in, how deep that's running into our military. But there's a ton of countries that require you at a certain age to go spend time and serve in the military. And it's kind of it's definitely a debatable topic here for the U.S. in my opinion. I mean, yeah, Val, you say if your parents didn't do a good job, military ain't going to do shit for you. And yeah, I can understand. I can see that point, especially if they're not able to to train the way they used to train. Eventually, guys received more respect of their COs and their higher ups because they were that hard on them, and they were that hard on them because they needed to learn this to save their own asses, to save the ass of the person standing next to them. So
See, the whole point to serve in the military, when you're made to do that, is to not have a professional army, because when you have it this way, it's cheaper. It's cheaper for the country. It's a lot cheaper, but you're also losing on the quality, because now let's say you're making mandatory every 2 years, so you're gonna have at least every 6 months or every year new recruits. So every year you're training new people all the time. So that you're not really getting the quality out of the guys. Plus, if they're kind of made to do it, so there's no pride. If you join the military, some people join for wrong reasons, and whatnot, but a lot of people join because there's a sense of pride doing what they're doing, So, like, I came to this country, I was literally 3 weeks out of the Army, and I was looking at my options, and my very first stop, literally after a month in this country, was Marine Corps, Army, Navy, Marines. Every one of them told me, you can't join because you don't have the right visas, you don't have a green card yet, and all that shit. I was fresh out of the military. I was still fluent in Russian. I was semi-fluent in German. I'd be like, perfect. And I'm thinking, like, fuck that. I'll join. I'll stay in for a couple of years, get a $30,000 for college. Maybe, I was in my 20s. I was 20 years old when I came here. Maybe I can still get some college degree and whatnot. That shit didn't work out. And then I met my wife, got married, all that shit, But by the time everything came up, I was too late, too old.
I mean, could the military do more raising than what the parents did? Possibly. But if you're forced into something, you're not going to put the effort into it. You're not going to, your soul isn't going to be into that. If you ponied up and you signed up and everything else, yeah, you might end up having to embrace the suck, but you're the one that put yourself there. It wasn't just something that was required of you. But on the other hand, I've also heard where people were that it changed their life, changed their perspective on life itself, and created a work ethic in them. So kind of on the fence with that. Mario, where would you stand on complete speculation on if the United States, like many other countries, started requiring you to do at least a year's worth of service in a branch of the military?
I don't like it. I prefer quality over quantity. I noticed to me that the biggest mistake that we made in Vietnam was when we started just drafting people, and we saw vast amount of people that were doing drugs and just a lot of stuff that was not, up to the standard where it needed to make the U.S. military where it needs to be at. That's the reason why I don't believe that people should volunteer, because the military is not really meant for everybody. And the way I'm not saying that other militaries are not as good or just as good as the U.S. military, but are up tempo. And, you got to have that certain type of personality. You got to have that type A personality in order for you to be able to survive, especially like me, 20 damn years in the military. You just got to know when to play games and when to play the game and when not to play the game. And there's a lot of people that just don't have that.
Yeah, Kingpin's got a good point. Something like ROTC in high school, that probably might work more than making kids actually join the Army for a year. It's just not everybody's into that. Like when my kid was looking for colleges, I threw him a curveball. I told him, why not join the West Point? It's right here. I mean, he's not in greatest shape, but academically he was in a perfect shape. And I told him, look, they're not just looking for the strong guys; they're looking for the smart guys. Because nowadays warfare is all in the computers. And he's like, nah. He goes, no,
If I would have had the academics like some of these kids do, man, I would have jumped in that opportunity to go into West Point. I mean, to be honest with you, that was always my dream, is to go to West Point. I mean, people have no idea how badass that fucking place is. I mean, it's just as good as any Ivy League school out there, man. And those kids get some fucking badass education. They really do. And it's, you put 6 years of your life, but you're getting 4 years, and a badass bachelor's degree. And in most cases, you got your GI Bill if you want to go get your master's and your PhD. The sky's the limit for you, man. But like I tell you, most kids nowadays, their priorities are not even set the same way that you and I were when we were at that age. And that's the biggest problem that we got going on right now. The generation nowadays is just this unpatriotic and it's lazy.
Well, I put that out there just because you guys do reflect my personal feelings and opinion on it. Because the people that I see going into the military are the self-starters, be it a guy or a girl, and they're confident. I don't want to go out there and say the cliche, the alpha male or female, but it's the person that's got a maturity level and they're not afraid to go out and strike out on their own. Where a lot of these betas that we're seeing all the problems getting started with, they're just followers and listening, and they don't use their own minds. Where the folks that have joined the military, they know how to use their minds, and they're not scared.
Yeah, and I mean, do you really want to put somebody in charge of multi-million-dollar equipment when they just don't have that kind of drive? To me, I don't think I ever want to do that. I mean that, I was kind of tallying up all the stuff that I have. I have over $300 million worth of equipment I'm responsible for on an everyday basis. And that's not only equipment, that's personnel. I got 169 personnel I was in charge of. It's like, those are things you just, you're not going to have all the time. So, most people are not going to have that kind of responsibility. They would not even know how to deal with it. So, you just have to, you have to have that kind of drive, like Daniel's saying. If you don't have it from the get-go, from the start, when you become a seaman or you become a private, you're just not going to make it.
So I think it was G23. I'm not quite sure. It might have been Razor. They mentioned possibly requiring ROTC at the high school level. So why not, in my opinion, require taking an ROTC class?
Because ROTC should be earned. ROTC should be earned. It shouldn't be something that you implement on somebody. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually applying for an ROTC position in my local high school. And if I get it, most of the kids that go into those kind of programs are kids that want to be part of the system. They have that leadership drive. They want to just do something that's bigger than themselves. And for that, you need to have the right mindset. Not every kid's gonna have that. So for you to force some kid to go into ROTC, and then I think it's just like in the military, you're gonna make that program even weaker to the point that you're not justifying it for the right people that we want to bring in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's just like anything else, guys. You have to be selective of who you bring in.
ROTC is extracurricular, just like sports. And I mean, if you want to go out there and do ROTC or play football or basketball, it's something that you want to do, or else you won't excel at it. You'll just be bringing everybody else down.
Yep.
So how would we, especially these days when when it's talked so far down to today's youth, how would we possibly even get them interested into possibly a military career?
Just expose them to it. Talk to the kids. That's the biggest thing. Talk to them.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, you know, of course. Go ahead, bud.
No, I talked to my kid about West Point, and he's not a military guy at all. He just, for him, it's completely. I was different. When I was growing up, I was all about. I almost went to military high school. My parents were begging me not to go, and this is back when the communists were still on. And after that, all I wanted to be was an Air Force pilot. Until I found out that all the fucking Russian jets have a 6-foot limit, and I was 6'3" when I was 17. So I couldn't fit in one already. He wasn't into it at all. Only thing that he might have considered, he's like, I might have considered a Navy because of all the more technology, blah blah blah, see the world. But it was just not into him. I'm not gonna force him into it if it's not in his nature. So it all boils down. Just talk to your kids. Be a fucking parent, for crying out loud. Don't let the street and school raise them.
Well, I went throughout my high school years. I went to 3 different high schools. Only one of those high schools even had an ROTC program. So, I mean, it also would depend on the ROTC program if it's even available to them.
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
The years that I went to high school, I went to 3 different high schools, and only one of those high schools had an ROTC program. The other schools didn't. So,
right. And the thing about it is that
if I was in the upbringing and wanted to get into a program like that, I didn't even have the availability in 2 out of the 3 different high schools that I went to.
yeah, and ROTC is selective. Like in most cases, like for example, in our town, we only have 2 high schools that teach Army. We have 1 that teaches Air Force, and actually the Navy one got decommissioned, and it was because they couldn't find a cadre for it, which is kind of sad. So we only have the Air Force and the Army, and that's it in our town. But there are some other towns where, like the bigger cities, where you'll have all 4 branches, even the Coast Guard, and that's when it gets really good because you start doing all these military competition games that they do. Now, for many of our kids, they have a tendency to go to state competitions, and that's where they try to excel and try to get some sort of rewards and all kinds of stuff. And for many of the California military kids, they end up going to Fresno State, and they have a straight competition, and they do all kinds of stuff, whether it's leadership, academics, and all this other stuff. And the overall winner, they end up getting scholarships and end up getting more money towards their program, which is always a good thing just to maintain that. So, but unfortunately, not every school district is into the whole ROTC program, and it has to be approved by that branch of service.
Yeah, I don't. Would still, I think it's good food for thought to try and, how would we actually stimulate the coming generation to want to be part of the military? Everything that they're taught now is like so far departed from earlier generations, and then it's almost like 60s area kids that if you were in the military, you were just the worst thing on the face of the planet.
I don't think that's true, because my wife works in school, and even with this fucked up graduation we have right now, there were kids that joined the military last year. There were graduating kids that joined the military. my shooting buddy, his kid just graduated high school, and he wants to be a state trooper. Even with all this shit going on right now, all he wants to do is be a state trooper. For his first car, they bought him a Tahoe. That's all the kid wants. So it's really, it's not just the school. It's the environment the kids are brought up in. The parents, the friends, and what TV shows they watch, or YouTube, or whatever the hell. It's all of it together. Some of them wants to join the military just because they play freaking Call of Duty. Who the hell knows?
Look, I just gotta be honest with you, and I think a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say, but the new generation of Americans scares the shit out of me because they don't have a sense of pride or wanting to do something good other than for themselves. They have this mentality like fucking Janet Jackson. What have you done for me lately? And there's very few kids that are gonna want to be part of the military. And which in the long run, what's going to end up happening is just to get kids in the military, they're going to have to lower the standards. And when you lower the standards, you lower the overall, branch of service, the military. And unfortunately, that's what I see this going. And I'll be honest with you guys, I could have stayed another 5 years if I really wanted to, but with all the bullshit that's going on right now in the military, I don't want to be part of that shit. I got too much of the old school mentality, man, and I don't like where it's heading, and I don't like how things are being portrayed, or they have fucking shit nowadays where they give these kids fucking $50,000 signing bonus. Fucking a 18-year-old kid does not know what to do with fucking 50 grand, but yeah, you offering that shit to them, and most people when I fucking joined, man. We didn't join with any fucking bonus or anything like that. But now they feel the military feels that the only way they can get people is by showing them the money. And in reality, you're not gonna get the right person because they don't give a shit. All they care about is the money. And it's always gonna have that "what have you done for me lately" fucking mentality. And unfortunately that's where our military is gonna end up fucking not being at the same quality they used to be.
Well, you got a problem. Because I did 3 years in recruiting right here in this county where I live now. And that was before 9/11. Boy, I tell you what, if there's any time to do recruiting, it was right after 9/11 when that happened, because the patriotism and everything that ran through this country, everybody was wanting to go in there and deal some payback. And they knew they were going in, and they were going to eventually go to war. Now it's like this, it's still going on over there. Even though they say the drawdown, it didn't get settled. So all these kids, they grew up thinking war is normal, and they just like, yeah, whatever. And patriotism doesn't even come into thought. I mean, there's no reason a war should last more than 20. I mean, there's no reason a war should last over 5 or 6 years. That should be a long war. You're talking over 20 years? No.
Yeah, but it's just the kind of bullshit policies that are being placed right now is one of the reasons it just unmotivated the shit out of me to stay. I was just like, you know what, it's time for me to go. Maybe I'm old school army and I'm salty motherfucker. I don't know, but I was just like, I was done, man. I mean, they waved that fucking E8 at me, and I was like, nope, fuck you, get away from me. I'm going away. But
was you in during Clinton? Was you in during
Yeah.
Bill Clinton? Remember all
Yeah.
those guys were getting paid to get out?
Yeah. Oh, and then by the way, you had to pay a part of your TRICARE back then. I was fucking pissed. I remember part of my check went to pay my own insurance, and I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't the fucking government pay that shit? I mean, that's the whole point of being active duty, right? So yeah, believe me, I know how it is, man. I know how fucking Clinton fucked a lot of people over. That motherfucker might have been a good statistician or whatever to the Democrats or whatever. I mean, the only thing I can give homie credit for is he got head in the fucking Oval Office. But kudos for that shit. But other than that, he didn't give a fuck about the military, man. He really didn't.
Now, I watched a lot of people had 10 years in, and they got paid $100,000 to get out. Lost a lot of quality during that because they just got
But
tired
they're
of the
stupid,
BS. I know they were
They're
halfway
stupid,
to
though.
retire. They were halfway to retirement.
You could have got way more if you would have just stayed in. Not only that, a lot of them didn't even get any benefits once they got out. So they couldn't claim anything on the VA side or shit like that. And a lot of them didn't think about that shit. And now they're paying for it.
Yeah, the sad thing I see now though is so many young men and women that are going in who got the right morals, they got the right outlook on life, and they're just getting drugged through the ringer.
And the thing about it is that those are the same ones that are getting out as soon as their first term of their contract is over. Why? Because people don't know how to retain. They don't know how to take care of their people. Do you really think, I'll be honest with you guys, I was stationed in Fort Hood for fucking 3 years. I've never in my fucking lifetime ever heard of soldiers being missing or fucking people dying in a military base. What the fuck is going on? That's something I still to this day do not understand. What the fuck is going on in Fort Hood? Because I'm gonna tell you something. Fort Hood has always been a shitty place, and there's a lot of shit that happens. I'm not gonna go into it right here, especially being on live fucking broadcast. But I can tell you guys a lot of shitty shit that's always happened in Fort Hood, but never to a point where fucking you have to worry about people's lives being lost, and being lost, stateside.
Well, we gotta change the topic before we lose all the fucking viewers.
Yeah, okay, so what can we talk about on a gun channel?
I have no idea. I don't know. What can we talk about? Maybe not the guns?
Oh my god, that's a nice gun. It's so nice. You know what that reminds me of?
That's not a
Is
gun.
that Duck Hunt? Is that Duck Hunt gun from the Nintendo NES? You should color that like that.
Yeah.
You
well,
be styling, man.
that's what this is. This is a Nintendo gun.
Or you know what? You
talk
can
about
be like the Zen Master.
holsters by Harry's Holster.
Don't
Damn
mind
Harry, man. Like I heard the guy that makes a really good holsters, the Armor Channel, Pete. I heard his holsters are pretty legit.
Yeah, but he's like a one-man shop. He makes his in his house. Harry's Holsters is like professional quality shit. Not putting Pete down. I'm sure his holsters are nice, but it's a different level of quality.
I just wish Harry would make more outside the waistbands.
I wish he'd start making the fucking competition holsters.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty set on the competition right now.
So explain to me what's the difference on a competition holster than regular outside the waist, because I don't know nothing about that stuff. So you need to show me the ways. I know Zen Master's not in here, so.
All right. This is my double alpha competition rig. Okay, for one, look at the belt. Okay, I got 4. These are all aluminum. And the holster. You see, I'm holding the belt. Nothing moves. That's how rigid it is. Now here's the actual holster. This is a Red Hill Tactical holster. See with the boss hanger. See how offset everything is, and see how rigid everything is. Okay, same thing. I put a gun. You see how it stays on? It doesn't can nothing. Everything stays on the same way the whole time. Now we got the knobs for the
So
adjust.
it's like you putting starch on that shit.
Pretty much. And then you have a quick knob so you can attach. You can fix your tension, whatever.
You know, for a minute I thought you were a magician, man, because that belt was hanging by itself. I was like, wow, he's a magician, professional amateur.
Now this is
You're
the
my hero.
this is probably most popular holster that you go to any matches for the production guys and the Carry Optics guy. A lot of them going to be running this Red Hill Tactical holster and the Boss hanger. That's going to be the combination. You're going to see probably 80%.
And that's actually designed to set off of you a little bit more. Unlike most holsters that we deal with as carriers, you want that to set off of your hip more, right?
Yeah. Yep. Well, you're not worried about concealment. You worry about a quick access. So that's what this is, for easy draw. That's why you see little bars over here. That's the offset. And then this thing is called a hanger. That's what it is. It's a Boss hanger. It's, again, a piece of aluminum. Everything is bolted to the same goes for the mag pouches. These mag pouches everything is bolted to it, and it's these are universal, so you can adjust them for pretty much any magazine. You just put the different inserts. And then you have a little.
Well, that looks expensive.
And so the holster itself, not only is it the front of it isn't cut down just for the optic, it's actually cut further down to where you could rotate out of that holster faster. What is that the purpose for that?
Exactly. Because you come out, you can go. Now, when you get into limited, the open division, their holsters are designed, you pull up about maybe 1/4 of an inch and you can pop in. That's like my Safari Land. Like when you watch the real, like a pro shooter shooting the big ass, those space guns. That's what the holster basically all it does is grabs the gun by the trigger guard. Okay, so as soon as you grab the gun, you pull about 1/4 of an inch, it releases the gun, and you go straight up. Now, obviously, you don't have that for concealment. For concealment, you want something that's going to be tight to the body, so it doesn't print, but it's still fairly easy to access.
Yeah, and you're still worried about creating a sweat guard that's going to be all the way up against everything and covering that up, and even covering your magazine release. You don't need to worry about any of that when you're with a competition rig, right?
Yep, exactly. The key word is competition. So it's a completely different tool for different job.
Now that belt system that you got, that's not like the like a 2 or a 3-part battle belt system to where it's not a Velcro insert, is it?
Yes, it is. I have a Velcro part that I got in my pants, in my belt loops, and this just goes. It's got the loop part over here, and that just goes over it. You just put it over the inner belt that you thread through your pants. You understand?
But so and that outer belt is actually Velcroed itself. It doesn't come together with like a Delta buckle or anything.
No, you got a Velcro over here as well. So you tie one to another, then you have a little keeper that you put over it. Just to keep it all tight. But that's still, you have an inner belt that's in it. Oh my God. So this is from my pants, right? So that's the belt that you have around your waist. And this.
Please don't get up.
Yeah, I can't get up now because I got my old pants, before I lost the weight. So this Velcro's right to it. Okay? So now the whole thing is nice and sturdy.
All right. I've got for Josh Benware was talking about those. You don't want to get in an actual fight with them. My only advice to Josh is quit getting in fights with the ROs, okay? Then you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you get in a fight with the ROs, you got bigger problems.
Is that those guys that hold the fucking timer?
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys look like they take that shit way too serious, man.
They
And some
have
of these
to.
motherfuckers be looking like 300 pounds. I'm like, how the fuck you catch up? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, but they have to because like the last match, the Era 8, those guys are there for 3 days. They're not getting paid. The only thing I think they pay for their hotel and they give them food. That's about it. You know, so and you're there all freaking day and you help to build the stages. So there's a lot of work that goes into the match. That's why when you go and shoot a major match, you know, it's not a $25 as a local match. It's usually a lot more. I don't want to say. You guys can look it up online. Yeah, but this is the double alpha belt. I just picked it up. I had a Scorpion belt before, and there's a reason why Scorpion belt you buy on Amazon is half the price of this. You know, and this is the major reason how stiff this thing is.
Where is that belt made?
What?
Where is that belt made?
Double alpha?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. No markings. Let's see.
That shit is probably made in China.
Yeah, I hope not.
Let's see. Let's Google.
There we go.
Hopefully it's made in America. It's probably Australia though. Does Australia make anything?
Hey,
They got hot women. That's about it.
They make kangaroos, don't they?
they raise sheep. They think their biggest export might be wool. I tell you what, I wouldn't buy any. I'm not going to buy anything made in China. That's why I'm so anti-Walmart.
No, I totally agree with you. The good thing nowadays is that we're starting to see more manufacturers starting to make stuff here stateside. You might pay a little more, but at least you're doing okay for yourself, you know?
As we all wait in the grand expectation to see where it's made.
Pistol Pete says they make knives in Australia. They actually do make some good knives. And Bearded CB says a lot of wine, and more than likely he's drank most of it. There's also some banter out there of Blue Alpha, and that's actually the direction that I'm probably going to go for a belt shortly. Once I get finished assembling a few other things, I'm going to end up going to a Blue Alpha belt, and I don't know if I'll eventually end up in the starting to do competition or not. I am very interested in it. I'm very, very curious about it. Because I think it's going to make me by far a better shooter, a more reactive shooter, a more quicker, more better. More gooder. I think it'll just ultimately make me more gooder.
That's what we all want, more gooder. Brought to you by Mario Moser.
Well, and a lot of the stuff, and I've asked a couple of you competition guys, how much of that actually relates, you feel, to defensive shooting, to self-defensive shooting?
Well, it's more of a, let's put it this way. If you look at the IDPA versus USPSA, IDPA is going to be more on defensive skills, I would say, but it doesn't really matter because it's still sort of training because you got gun, you got time, you got running, you got adrenaline rush, and you got shit going wrong. So you got all this stuff going on. Yes, it's not your life that nobody's shooting back at you, but you're reacting to whatever's happening and whatnot. So
From what I see, those are like extreme fucking scenarios, man. Like if you're gonna run into some fucking apocalyptic fucking shit. Because I'm looking at those things, I'm like, all right, whatever, man. But I mean, I like it. I mean, it's cool. I ain't gonna say nothing bad.
It also builds up your confidence. Okay, like at the end of 8, there was one stage where instead of running all the way back, taking an easy shot, I took a pop at 25 yards. Okay, because I know I can do it, and I know it's gonna take me an extra second, but it'll take me 5 seconds to run forward and get in a different position. So it also builds up your confidence, your gun handling skills, everything. So I'd say it's definitely better than going once a week to a goddamn indoor range and shoot at a paper target. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing that I have issues with competition shooting is, it's completely opposite to what I've been trained. To me, it's like the nearest target, you hit that shit first. You don't hit the farthest target because that bitch ain't gonna fucking, you hit the one that's right in front of you. But it seems to me like with these type of competitions, you kind of, like shooters already have an idea of what they want to do, and it's all about flow.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
You're absolutely right. USPSA is just a speed shoot. It's all about speed. Speed takes over accuracy, and you pre-plan how you shoot it, and it's all about that. That's why I said when you look at the IDPA and it says in the name International Defensive Pistol Association, it's completely different because they go by the rules like you said. You're shooting from the cover. You're slicing the pie, so you're going from most visible target to least visible target, and usually you're shooting near the far. And most of the stages you can't really game because there's like a set course of fire how you have to do it. Rarely there's a way to shoot a stage differently. In the USPSA, it's all about planning. So okay, I can shoot this stage this way. I can shoot it this way. What's faster? So USPSA is definitely 100% game. Okay, it doesn't really teach you that defensive skills, but like I said, it's still adrenaline rush. It's still thinking of your feet, shooting, and all that. So in a real gunfight, when the bullets are flying, you're gonna cheat. You're gonna cheat as much as you can because your ass is on the line. Okay, nothing else matters. It matters, you and your unit. Everything on that side, you don't give a flying fuck about.
But it's still shooting under pressure.
Exactly.
Shooting under pressure and getting away from that tunnel vision. You go out there shooting competition for the first time or two, you're going to be getting tunnel vision right after about the second shot. At least that's what happens to me.
Yeah, that's what Razor JB just said. All the top tier units bring in civilian competition shooters, and I can attest to that. I spoke to a couple of higher end shooters I know, and that's what they do. They go and they help all these top end military and law enforcement with the shooting, with all that. I even saw, I had a couple of law enforcement guys shooting with us, and the way they shoot is different because they don't care about the speed. They kind of refer back to their skills, to their defensive skills. Some of them, we have a DEA guy that shoots with us, and he can just flip the switch, and he can go from defensive to beast mode, without he's been doing it long enough. Yeah, like Razor said, pressing trigger and seeing size doesn't change. So it's practice.
So Mario, what would be a drill that you may know that would be one of the best drills for somebody practicing self-defense shooting?
Near and far targets are always a good thing. I think the biggest thing that a lot of people need to understand about shooting is just target acquisition. And that's something that's not easy for a lot of people to understand and to really get into it. How do you tell friend from foe? I mean, even for us in the military, it's a really tough thing for us to do. I think the biggest thing, or the biggest thing that I would tell a lot of people is just, knowing how to handle your trigger, and knowing your trigger control, and also, when to take the finger off your what they call the freaking away from the trigger, and maintaining posture. Just, I mean, there's a lot of things. I wouldn't say there's a drill per se. To me, it's just going back to the basics, going back to breathing, going back to target acquisition, going back to trigger control, because that's what all that is. All that shit that you guys are talking about is the same shit I'm telling you right now. It's just that they're doing it at a more perfection type of level, and they're getting to that level where they're mastering it. But if for anybody that's just out there looking to better their skills, my thing is, do the crawl, walk, run phase, and work your way up. I'm sure there's people like professional amateur, pop squats. All these guys will tell you, you got to start slow and you got to just work your way up, man. And then the other thing is just foot control. How to be able to, plant your feet right and all that kind of stuff. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff, man. Yes, of course, critical thinking, decision making, and that's something that they beat the shit out of us in the military, But I mean, that's what I would tell a lot of people to do.
I mean, if you wanna be more on a defensive training side, but still wanna have a fun, I would look into IDPA. I mean, I have to say that all these USPSA matches I go to, not single one had the props that we had at the major IDPA matches up here in New England Regional, New Hampshire, Live Free or Die. I mean, we did it all. You always have a low light stages or no light. You're shooting with the flashlight, with the not weapon mounted flashlight. It's got to be separate flashlight. We shot from the car. We shot underneath the car. The indoor nationals, we even shot from the space station, so you get more of a, I'd say, for lack of a better word, it's more of a realistic scenario, because the whole stage usually has a description that says you walk into a bar and the bar's getting robbed. This is what you do. You flip the table, you take out the nearest bad guy, and there's whatever else going on. That's usually what it reads in the course of fire. And there's always props like that. You have to flip the table. You have to do this. And most of these big competitions, they have it. You flip the table and it activates something else, or you run through a laser beam and that activates something else. You have a charging targets coming back at you. USPSA, it's all speed shoot. They don't really have any of that shit. They might have a clamshell and a couple of swingers, and that's about it.
Fuzzy, remind me to not be around you in a gunfight, please.
When I do the situations that I've been in, and so I train towards it. It's 0 to 5 feet, drawing for cover. I mean, but just practice that. Practice draw from your cut concealment, drawing from that, point shooting, and keeping your offhand out of the way so you don't shoot yourself, because it's right up there in your face. The other half of the time, okay, that's when you get the skills going for shooting out past 10 and 15 yards. But I'm just looking at that close up, just instinctive, be able to draw your gun out without getting snagged up in your shirt, so it's all muscle memory. If you have to think about your move that you got to make, you've already lost. It should just be, I'm going to shoot, so boom. The offhand goes up, moves the close out of the way, you're drawing with the other one, and you're bang, bang, right there.
Yep.
Yeah, completely. Muscle memory, being able to get out and get on target. But on target, to me, for defensive shooting, has nothing at all to do with the sights. Nothing. Don't even look at them. It's all point shooting.
You'll be
At that point, I'm focused. I might pull the sights up to the target, but it's more of muscle memory and looking where I'm going to hit. If I'm paying attention to where I plan on hit, if I focus on that point and I point, that's where I'm going to.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised that you think you're not looking at your sights subconsciously. You're still seeing the sights. It's even if you're not looking at the sights itself, you're not aligning. You're looking down the slide. You still got some kind of alignment and whatnot. So.
Well, Val, from 0 to 5 feet, you're not going to be drawing the gun up to aim. You're just going to be clearing the holster and just rotating and pulling the trigger.
You're talking about shooting from a retention. It's a different story then.
Yeah, I mean, just pull it out, doing the. I always call it point shooting. And so I am off on my terminology.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you're clearing the gun and shooting right from here, okay, that will be shooting from a retention basically. Whenever you extend your hand and you put the other hand on, that's not point shooting because you are looking at the sights. Even if you're not looking at the sights completely, you see at least the front sight because that if you're practicing with the regular sights, that would be your focus. Okay, unlike. Lately, I've been shooting with all these dots. I'm not looking for the sight anymore. Now I'm looking at the target, and when I bring the gun up, all I see is a dot appearing at the target. Okay, opposed to regular sights is different because my focus goes from the front sight, aligning it, and then the target's kind of fuzzy. So even if you think you're not really looking at the sights, in reality, if you slow down and think about it, you are.
And everything, guys, in a firefight, I can tell you everything. As much as people think it actually, everything comes so fast. To the shooter, everything is like it's like everything slows down. It just it does for me. I could tell you guys from experience. Everything slows down, and it's like. I don't think about anything else but that person or that target in front of me. And, there's times where afterwards I'd be like, like, for example, I was in fucking Fallujah, right? So we come back and we do raids and we can get into some fucking nasty shit. And then we come back and you sit back and reflect and you think about it. You're like, holy shit, I didn't even think about pointing at that motherfucker. I just did it and went right in his fucking chest. Just shit like that. Mine is more of an extreme fucking scenario, guys, but I can tell you that that's exactly how it would feel when you start shooting at a target, regardless whether it's an actual live person or a paper target. So just, I think the biggest thing that we get out of being in the military is muscle memory. I think a lot of you guys really need to start training with that weapon that you guys carry on an everyday basis. And I mean, train as much as you can. Learn as much as you can to the point that you're just like, you're automatic.
You should be able to train where you can take electrical tape and cover up your sights on your gun and draw and shoot 8 by 8 inch target at 15 yards. And I did that down here with Scotsman, and we put it on video. We had electrical tape over all the sights, and had it on a timer and draw, and hit the steel. And that was just using my off my left hand, using the thumb, pointing my thumb at where I wanted to hit, and just included that on my grip.
Well, I'm going to address this comment, Josh. Yeah, obviously, if I've got to shoot different, any kind of distance, yeah, I'm positively looking at the sights. I got somebody that's arm's reach away within, just a couple of yards. That's another story altogether. But if I got someone shooting at me from 15 yards, of course I'm going to be using my sights. That's
Somebody shooting at me from 15 yards. The first thing I'm looking for is a cover.
I agree.
And yeah, he's absolutely right, because in competition it's the same way. When the timer goes off and you get the burst of adrenaline, when everything shouts out, it first couple of times it almost felt like that movie Wanted, when he shot the wings of the fly. You ever saw that movie? And when everything slowed down from him, and like you finish the stage and you think, holy shit, it was so fast, and then he comes with the timer and he goes, okay, 4:52. Like, holy mother of God. That felt like 10 seconds. I can only imagine in a real firefight, it's got to be Jesus Christ.
Now, I might not. Well, the night sights on this P07, yeah, I can see them in the dark.
No.
It doesn't have a light on it, so I may not be able to see my target though.
Yeah, my sights on this SP01, these things, you can see them from across the house, and you can see where your gun's at. You know, if you got to go get your gun when all the lights are off.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the tritium glow on these CZs. It's bright, and the ones on my 320 are pretty lit as well. But the ones that came on this P07, you can almost read by the damn things.
Yeah, I have a set as well. It don't even have to be dark. You know, with little shadow and they glow already. See, Razor says it. He can see dot in all condition, and that's, you know, once you get used to dot, you know, that's the way to go. You don't have to worry about the night size, none of that stuff. You got a dot. So Mario, when you were in military, on your M4, what size you had on that?
Well, what do I have on it?
Yeah.
I had an ACOG on it,
Oh, okay.
and when and when we did night movements, we had this laser, or the call it a PAC-2, and that was bore sighted to your weapon, right? So, I mean, I think a lot of you guys watch a lot of Hollywood movies where, you know, a lot of guys have a tendency of using their night sights. Well, I mean, it's kind of true, because we use a lot of our night sights, because the thing about it is that when we light up the PAC-2, or when we say light is when we engage or we turn on the laser, it's an IR laser, right? So you can only see it through night sights. But if for some reason you ever get into a situation where you can't use your night sights, it does have a red dot capability. So it was pretty cool. Most of the time, that red dot was lined up with my ACOG as well, so I never really had to worry about it. In my first deployment, I just used an M16A2 with a 203 on it, and I didn't have I had an aim point red dot, and it was pretty decent. I had no issues with it. But that's pretty much what I used. I mean, now it's probably even better than what it was in circa 2009. But you know, I'm sure it's gotten better. But I was very effective with my PEC-2 IR night sight, and using the PVS-14 night sights. They're pretty decent, man. I was able to be very effective with them.
Basically, nobody's running around with the iron sights on their M4 anymore.
No. I still had them. I still had a tendency of always bore sighting my iron sights, just in case something would happen with my ACOG. I had a tendency of always, you know, just doing that because I'm just like you. I don't rely on the night side because when I first joined the military, we didn't have none of that crap. You know, this has all happened after Iraq, and of course, we had all these military contractors to all kinds of fucking goodies at the U.S. military, and of course, we took them because shit. You know, you gonna give it to me, I'm gonna use it. So, so we used it, and it was very effective. But I mean, I still had that old school mentality where I always have my night sights bore sighted just in case, or zero just in case I ever needed to just use my iron sights. And in most cases, I still like iron sights a lot better. You know, I still was pretty decent with it. You know, I'm not, you know, like the Marines that they shoot 500 meters. You know, I probably could shoot 400 meters, but not 500. Yeah, I mean, I probably could, but it'd be a little hard for me. I'm not that because I'm not used to it. Not like the Marines where they're used to that distance. You know, I'm not. Because the Army standard is actually 300 meters. But yeah, so I mean, it's cool. I mean, I got to play with a lot of toys, man, and all those toys are pretty cool.
All right, so I bought these right at the Area 8. These are called right here. So what's special about them? There's a special coating, whatnot. So when you put them on, everything becomes brighter. It actually allows more light to come into your eyes. And when it's too sunny outside, it becomes darker by itself. They were not cheap, but I went to the stand, I put them on, and I literally went, "Holy shit!" So the guy was like, "Cool." Goes like, "Listen, if you want, you can wear them for the rest of the day. If you don't like them, just return them at the end of the day." He goes, "No strings attached." And I'm like, "Nope, I'm buying these." I bought them on the spot, and I shot the rest of the match with them. So one stage after that,
dude,
my buddy went and got his as well, and we shot the match with them. He loved the glass, he just didn't like the fit. So he's actually sending the guy his Oakleys, and the guy's gonna fit in the lenses in them. But look into these glasses if you want to get into serious shooting and whatnot, because these things are holy mother of God. That's all I can say. I don't get impressed that easy.
you know, you made that same look like those fucking as seen on TV fucking glasses. You know, the ones that are special forces approved.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you put them on, you're like, oh my god, I can see everything. I'm super tactical and badass,
no, these
just like special forces.
These, I mean, especially with the dot, you put them on. That dot is crystal clear. I mean, oh my God, I was impressed big time. They're not as comfortable as the Oakleys I have. I like the Oakleys because there's no frame, so you don't see the frame, you know. But just the way that the world looks through them. I mean, literally, at the end of the day, at the Area 8, I didn't want to take them off because I took them off and I'm like, holy shit, everything looks like shit now.
And those were Hunter's Gold.
Yep.
Find them at your
They got a
local
website on their card, Hunter's Gold, or what?
Yeah, let me type it in the chat.
huntersgold.com for all your vision needs. Oh my god, you look so romantic, Daniel. I could see you with your little bald head, and I could see the night background. You look so cuddly.
Hey, got a kiss for you.
Oh crap! I don't have the blue wrench.
How dare you not have that?
Hang on, I'll put it in the private chat. You just put it in a.
People are gonna give you shit for putting in a private chat. Oh.
Yeah, I can't believe I don't have you with a wrench.
Oh, you heard it here first. Bald and Curious is wenchless.
I put in the comment. Just copy and paste that.
man, Hunter's Gold. www.huntershdgold.com. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so inept at this. I can't even figure out now that it doesn't let us just go from one person to another how to even give you a blue wrench.
Man,
it
you're not
should-
worthy, fucker.
It should be you just go to those three dots beside the comment.
Yeah, a little hamburger stack, but it won't. Yeah, it doesn't give me the option. I can change your name though.
Don't worry about it.
So when I didn't realize that they won't let you put people in timeout no more. You can just report them or block them.
Yeah, everything is politically correct now. Yeah, Pistol Pete, they were a lot cheaper at the badge. Let's put it this way.
I was so wanting to put Josh in timeout. It's just us itching for it.
No, he'll probably enjoy it.
Everybody always wants to put Josh in timeout.
That's because he's hanging out with the freaking Yankee Doodle too much.
So
I am
Alan.
holding my DD214 worksheet. This motherfucker got so much shit in him. Like, I was looking at this motherfucker. I'm like, look at all my awards. I'm like, damn, I got that one? Shit, how do you know? I was so close to having the second one. It's more gooder. But anyways, what else is
So-
going on with y'all, man?
Well, I was going to say who's actually been able to get these. We know that Val has been getting out there shooting. I mean, Alan, have you been able to get out practicing, get to the range and shooting?
Not nearly as much as I'd like to. I didn't go at all this week, this weekend. Did do a little bit last weekend, but not nearly as much as I'd like to. My production of 9mm is slow, to say the least.
I'll get you the bullets. I got your address now. That's why I texted it out. I was expecting the Scotsman down here the last couple of weeks. I was going to slough it on him to mail it to you, but he didn't. You know,
I might order them. I might order some from you, Daniel, myself, because I'm still waiting for my Galant order.
really.
I'm down to my 600 rounds, and everybody's out. I was going to send them an email and tell them to ship me whatever you got because they got no bullets.
Well, let me ask you guys this: Has anybody been able to find small pistol primers? Because I can't find shit.
I get them every Friday. What the key to it is, know that your places when their deliveries come in, and the next morning be there 20 minutes before opening, and you should be able to get it.
I walked into one store. They had some. They had a small Magnum and small match. So long story short, I bought every single box.
Yeah, they kind of limit us 1,000 per. So you can get 1,000 small pistol and 1,000 small rifle, but it's got to be something different.
Bearded CB, I was told Thursday mornings it chills.
I just did bullets. Once I got bullets, I'm good. I'm good for a year at least. Hopefully by then this craziness will be over.
Although Professional Amateur did do a good video on using small rifle primers as a supplement. And it works great. Don't use Tula. Don't use Tula primers. You can't rely on those things at any point.
I actually used Tula, and they were about 95% in a SIG. I was surprised.
Yeah, and those are kind of a hard primer, aren't they?
Yeah, I was surprised because this is a striker fired gun, and they work just fine. They were about 95%, that went off. So for that and a practice ammo, I'll take that. But like a Federal or CCI, they're gonna be just about the same, whether they're rifle or pistol. And if you have a hammer-fired gun, like 226, for example, or Berettas, forget it. Those things will fire anything.
So with the DNC convention and all the fluff and hubbub and bullshit that floated around that, my question is, what is everybody buying right now? What do you think you need to stock up on right now with if God forbid the joke and the hoe end up taking it somehow?
Right now, I need to stock up on building materials because everything is scarce.
Yeah, because
I
the
got build.
way this stuff's going, you need to buy what you're going to need 6 months out to a year from now if you want to have it. Then, I mean, buy the stuff, whatever it's food, because the shipping chains as far as trucking and all that, it's getting all messed up and it's just going to get worse. And then if the left gets in office, make sure you already bought all your primers and brass and powder.
I would probably say there's a couple of things that I think a lot of people are not really focusing on, and that's just like basic food items. I don't know if you guys seen it in your area, but there's been some times where there's been a shortage of rice, beans, and also shortage of certain things like Lysol products and stuff like that. If you guys, toilet paper, paper towels, we don't know how stupid it's going to get again. And I think also, having some sort of type of fuel supplies, like what I mean by that is like, like propane canisters and all kinds of stuff that you're going to need just in case it's an emergency. Just a lot of the prepper stuff, those are things that I tend to.
Name of the game is self-reliance.
Yeah, Pistol Pete's right. Liquor. You want to get really drunk and forget it's really happened.
Well, in all actuality, liquor is not a bad option because it can be used for medicinal purposes. It can it can also be a very, very valuable trading item.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people are thinking about this whole thing as far as what to stock up on. I mean, all the way, yes, from the food, from regular household items. For 2 out of the last 3 weeks at church, one guy brought me a 5-gallon bucket of 9mm brass, only shot once. And another guy brought me in a big coffee can full of 45 brass, only shot once. They're greasing the skids. So when you know what I'm saying. They're greasing the skids, so they're going to have ammo when they need it.
Yeah,
well, yeah, and creating your own network right in your local area is an extremely valuable prepping asset. Mm-hmm. Extremely valuable. You know who you're going to be able to barter with, who you're going to be able to trust, who you're not going to be able to trust, and you get good in enough with folks, then you got a general idea of some of the things that they have, and they have an idea of some of the things that you have, and not that you want to divulge everything that you've got stocked to anybody, other than you and your own. But right now, I kind of figure people out in California are just bugging to get magazines.
Well, actually, No, actually, it's gotten better. The ammo, there's still some shortages, especially in the LA area. I mean, if you live in the Bay Area, good luck with that crap. Especially now with the most of the fires up there, it's going to be really hard for them to get any supplies up there. The like I tell you, the only thing that I've been having a hard time finding is small pistol primers. There's primers for everything else, but they're all large, and I don't have anything that's of large quantity. I was able to buy small rifle primers, but not pistol. The one thing that I noticed that it's been kind of short is powder for some reason, just kind of weird. Um, but the gun stores, they're all pretty much still depleted. They're starting to get a lot of their stock back in, but it's they still have very minimal inventory. Uh, but it's getting crazy. I heard of a lot of my friends that are FFLs and a lot of the gun owners. A lot of them are just very short tempered right now because they're having to deal with a lot of stupid people that just don't know how the system works in California compared to the rest of the other states. And their biggest problem is the 10-day waiting period. And a lot of them are upset that they can't get their gun right away. But of course, every time he can, these FFLs and gun owners tell him, look, man, if you guys want to change these laws, you guys have to do something about it. Without it right now, we can't do anything about it. This whole thing with the upcoming, what was that thing that they overturned? Was it the magazines?
The magazine capacity ban.
Yeah, the magazine capacity. So now we're just waiting for fucking Pat Riley to figure out what the fuck he wants to do. By the way, Pat Riley's Gavin Newsom. So he's got until the end of the month to figure out what he wants to do. Most likely he's going to fight it because that's what they do. They love to keep these things stuck in limbo in the courts. So I don't know how it is I know a lot of friends of mine that live in Nevada. And it's really hard for them to get anything as well, especially since a lot of people have driven over to Nevada from California and picked up a lot of that stuff over there. So, Nevadans and people in Idaho and all these other places, Oregon, they're all pissed at California because all these guys are just buying all this crap and taking it back to California. So I guess these so-called great laws that these people want to talk about are not working, especially with this whole ammo background check crap. Because I knew this was going to happen. This whole fucking blackmail or whatever the hell you want to call it. The people want to just bring all kinds of shit into the state and then try to sell for twice as much. It's getting stupid. I'm just thankful that I have the ability to reload. Luckily for me, I still have primers, but if this thing gets any further into another 4 or 5 months, then yeah, I'm gonna be hurting. But for the meantime, I'm doing pretty good. Just trying to stock up on basic items and just trying to stay afloat. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, I believe we had almost 20 million NICS checks this year. And that's just so far. Because so many people have just decided finally we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then now they're running into those laws that they more than likely were in support of, going, well, why can't I go in there and just buy? That doesn't make any sense. But yet they were probably in support of those laws before, which was very, very disheartening. I know for California, when they started talking about doing background checks for ammunition, I'm going, they are literally going to create a black market that isn't there right now. There's no black market for that, but they're going to create it by doing this. And that's precisely what happens, right? You take something that's a
Yeah,
regular
and the
commodity.
thing about it is that they don't, with all the stuff that's going on right now, especially with the fires, they don't have enough law enforcement to, enforce that. You're talking about the largest population state in the nation. You start restricting those gun owners, they're just gonna go and find it someplace else. It's it's just human nature, man. People are always gonna want to cheat the system. That's exactly what's happening now. And I really hope that people nowadays start really looking to all these stupid laws that you create. Eventually, they're gonna come back and haunt you if you don't really stop and think about it. I think the biggest problem that we have in California is that we have a lot of sheep, and we only have a couple of wolves. And all these sheep just follow the wolves all the fucking time and get eaten all the fucking time. And they don't stop and think about the repercussions that happen when you let certain fucking people that are so-called fucking idealists, they want to make things better for Californians, when in reality, they're not doing anything to protect the um, the citizens. And it's getting stupid. They do everything ass backwards, man. I mean, look at Chicago. Chicago, it's a fucking nightmare. And why is it a nightmare? Because they've had Democratic leadership there for fucking years, and it's never helped. It's never fixed anything. It's made shit worse. And now it's the capital, the murder capital of the world, not just the United States, the fucking world.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense at all. Coda Boy did a series on Biden's projected how he's going to deal with guns, and bringing on Clitora Harris is definitely a testament to that. A woman that called him a bigot and a racist and everything else, and this is going to be his VP. And it's definitely going to be a major attack towards the Second Amendment.
Let me add something to that, guys, because I can tell you guys, I've lived in the state, and Kamala Harris was a state attorney for fucking almost 12 years. And if you guys, everything that Tulsi Gabbard said about her is exactly the fucking truth. Why do you think Tulsi Gabbard was not part of the DNC? Because she fucking exposed her ass, right? She is the one that created this whole micro stamping bullshit that we got going on here. We had the whole thing with the 10-day waiting period. She doesn't believe that anybody should own any fucking guns, and she wants a mandatory buyback. That's her fucking plan. It's always been her plan. Not only that, but she's not really a good fucking state attorney, because she's played with the fucking lives of people who are supposedly on death row for all these fucking things, and they take it to a district court, and they find out that this person is innocent. And until they were forced, the state of California was forced to release these fucking prisoners. They kept them there. They kept them there for political gain. And I could tell you guys, this lady does not give a shit about anybody else. She has her own fucking agenda. She is a scary fucking lady, guys. I can tell you that if she becomes a BP, she's going to be calling the shots, guys. And if you guys think Hillary was fucking tyrannical, believe me, this bitch has her beat by fucking twice as much. So if you guys, and I can tell you, I'm not trying to fucking put fear on anybody, guys. Look at Kamala Harris's fucking record, guys. And the fact that she fucked around with Willie Brown, the motherfucking married man, and she fucking, he admitted, and so did she, but yet she is a fucking vice president candidate. What the fuck is wrong with our country? What is wrong with the Democratic Party that you would put a fucking woman like that? But anyways, that's my 2 cents on Kamala Harris. Fuck them.
Well, the problem with the country is that we listen to goddamn pro athletes and singers and actors. They're the ones that are shaping our youth. Like, people need to understand that fucking all the athletes, singers, and actors are purely there for my fucking entertainment. Their opinion does not matter. Okay, not to mention most of them have no fucking education anyway. So what the hell?
Exactly. How's fucking LeBron fucking James gonna tell me how to live my fucking life and whether fucking Black Lives Matter over fucking anybody else's fucking life? The motherfucker didn't even fucking finish college, man. And you know for a fact that because he was a superstar basketball player, that motherfucker didn't do none of his work. Everything was done for him, but yet he's got the balls to tell me what the fuck I need to do. Look, guys, and I'm a diehard fucking Laker fan, and I'm not watching those motherfuckers this year. Fuck them. Why? Because these motherfuckers, instead of they need to be entertaining us, like you said, fucking ball. They need to shut the fuck up. Look, my biggest thing is we're up to fucking here with all this politics and all this other bullshit. You know, if you want to watch sports, it's just to fucking get us away from this shit. I don't want to see motherfuckers kneeling for the flag. You know, to me, it's like a fucking big ass insult, man. To me and every fucking service member that served, you know, to seeing all my brothers who have that flag draped over their fucking body, you know, when they died, you know, they don't stop and think about that shit. You know, they have the balls to say, hey, this isn't against the military. This isn't against the flag. Well, why the fuck are you kneeling? To me, that's the biggest fucking insult. You know, my thing is stand the fuck up. If you want to put your fist in the air or whatever the fuck you want to do, that's fucking fine with me. But stand for the flag. The flag has not done nothing to your punk ass. Neither does a fucking national anthem. Respect that shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when they first started kneeling, one of the things about the National Fucked Up League, the football league, that I did not understand is it is written in their contracts that during the playing of the national anthem that they must stand with their helmet at their side. It's written into their contract, and every single one of them should have paid out the ass when they didn't abide by their contract. If I have a contract with my employer and I violate that contract, I'm going to have to pay out my ass. I'm going to lose my job and I'll probably get fined.
Yeah, problem is when your boss allows you the breach of contract and it doesn't penalize you for it, because that's what the NHL did. It's the league allowed all this shit. They let them put the stickers on the fucking sneakers and whatnot, or helmets or sneakers, whatever. You can put BLM, but you can't put Blue Lives Matter and all that bullshit. You know what? This is bullshit. Like, for example, I love rock, right? The actor. I love the movies. I just, you know what? I go to fucking movie. If I go to movie, I want to watch a fucking movie. I want to see people get blown up, shot, this and that. At the end of the guy, there's one fucking guy with a gun standing and a bunch of deads around there. I know it's the end of the fucking movie. I don't have to think about it. But I don't want to be looking at the fucking Rock as an ambassador of BLM. The moment that motherfucker put that BLM shit on his Instagram, I was done with him. I'm like, I'm fucking done. I'm never watching your fucking movie again. It just, you know, that's what it boils down to. Say, like Mario said, same thing with the sports. You go watch the fucking hockey game. If I go to Madison Square Garden for $100, I get the shitty tickets. Okay, for another 40, I get a fucking beer and a hot dog. I'm not watching for that money. Watching you motherfuckers doing some bullshit around the flag and whatnot. I want you to fucking stand up, keep your fucking hand on your heart for the anthem, for the flag, and play the fucking game. That's what you get paid for. End of story. Any other shit does not matter. That you're purely there to play the fucking game. End of story. Nothing else. There you go, MC.
Yeah, it's getting sad. It's getting to the point that I mean, honestly, the only fucking thing I watch nowadays is movie channels. HBO has been my fucking favorite friend, man. HBO, fucking Cinemax, and Showtime. That's all I fucking watch. Or I go to the Sportsman channel and watch some shit there. But I don't watch nothing else, man. I watch the local news. I only watch the local news. I don't watch the national news. Fuck those motherfuckers, man. Because they already have their fucking agenda, man. All I want to know is what's happening in my town. And I want to know about the weather and how shitty it is right now. But, you know, other than that, that's all I give a fuck about, man. And, you know, it's making it to the point that we don't have nothing else to watch because people want to throw their bullshit ass agenda. I mean, to be honest with you, for the longest, I used to love just going over there and watching sports because I know that no matter what the fuck was going on in this fucking country, that there was that fucking there was that avenue that you could go to, and now it's being taken over. And you know, these motherfuckers have the tendency of saying, well, this is a social movement. No, fuck no, man. I don't believe in that shit because I'll be honest with you, man. And and I think a lot of you guys may agree or disagree with me, man. But you know what? Black people ain't the only ones getting fucked over, man. You know what I'm saying? Brown people get fucked over, Asians get fucked over, white people get fucked over. It's life. Deal with it. Nobody needs to give you repercussion or fucking extra money for that shit. My thing is, you do the best you can every fucking day to the best of your ability. Fucking get up in the morning and do something with your fucking life. Stop fucking crying and getting a fucking free handout. I am so sick of that shit. And this shit's getting old, guys. And I know you guys can agree with that shit because I show so I'm just tired of the shit.
Yep. I don't blame you one bit. I mean, it's, you know, I said it before, you know, whoever, all the people doing all the crying are the ones that don't work, don't really pay taxes, they live off the system, and they demand shit for whatever reason. Like you had a leader of the BLM in Chicago saying, oh, we have demands. We're not asking, we're telling you. Well, you know what? You motherfuckers need to understand. There's only 13% of you. So you want to go fucking that way? Like, you don't have the numbers to back this shit up. You know, what happened to...
And you know, here's another thing. Their so-called fucking militia, motherfuckers shot each other. Did you guys see that shit?
Yeah, I
the
saw.
Motherfuckers had an accidental discharge and like 2 people got shot. I'm like, you guys are fucking pathetic, man.
You talk
Well,
about...
yeah, and right after that was the whole fiasco with their grandmaster.
Grandmaster fucking Jay.
He has
What a
absolutely no
fucking
clue
douche.
about firearms, and he's trying to tell people everything about firearms. It's just absurd.
The shit that he says that motherfuckers are dying in basic training because of this shit. Oh, dude, I almost fucking died laughing when he said that. I was like, oh my God. Dude, I was like eating and I had to like control myself because I was like, I have never seen a fucking private die from fucking using their M4 if they're being taught properly how to use it, which I know drill sergeants will do because they'll beat the shit out of you if you even flag somebody or put your fucking finger in the trigger well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you take that shit serious, man. I got my ass slapped in the fucking head a couple of times because my fucking finger was just too close to the trigger well. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? You learn that shit real quick, bro. You take that shit serious, you know? But this motherfucker, like, you know, my thing is, why don't you just say, look, we had a mishap, something happened, we apologize, blah, blah, blah. No, this motherfucker wants to sound like he's some sort of expert. And he doesn't know shit about weapons, dude. That's just as bad as Kamala Harris trying to tell me why I can't own an AR-15. I'm like, fuck you, lady. You know? And it was, you know, and the people that roasted his ass even the most were veterans, bro. Fucking veterans came out in full force on this motherfucker. It was fucking hilarious, especially the angry cops. Oh my God.
And the amount of veteran videos that came out were just, I mean, some of that shit was some of the most hilarious stuff I've seen on YouTube yet. I mean, just straight YouTube gold, man. YouTube gold.
You can tell right away when a guy's getting dressed, everybody's all black, and they're putting these tactical vests that you buy for $29.99 off the fucking eBay on. I'm like, the guy's carrying 2 AR-15s, like, why the fuck are you carrying 2 of them next to each other? Like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, none of that shit in my neighborhood. You know why? Because people are too fucking busy working. Okay, if I got nothing to do at my job, I'm working around the fucking town. I did so much.
You know, it's funny because I had some of my friends who are fucking, you know, very pro right and shit. They're like, how's it these motherfuckers have all this, you know, like they are so organized and all this other shit and all the. I'm like, dude, We fucking work for a living, bro. Well, not me right now. I'm living off the government right now. But, I did work for a long ass time. But these motherfuckers got all the time in the fucking world, man. They don't give a shit.
Yeah,
So
they
they can plan anything.
They could spend an entire week, all day, every day, planning out, getting everybody together, drawing up plans, doing whatever they need to do. It takes a long time to create plans like that and get that organized with everything. And because they don't work, they don't have it to worry about it.
And they all have Obama phones. And then they go in the white suburbs in the middle of the night and start bitching and yelling, "Wake up, motherfuckers, wake up," at 2 o'clock in the morning.
I just don't like how these people are so fucking demanding, and yet they haven't worked for anything in their life.
Exactly.
They haven't done shit, but yet they have the balls to demand shit from anybody. See, here's my thing. It's going to get to a point where the right wing will rise up. And when it does, I swear to God, you motherfuckers better pray to fucking whatever God you got, because you're going to need that shit. Now, I'll be honest with you. There's no amount of military or fucking police that can stop that shit. And I'm telling you, man, pretty soon they keep poking at the bear. I keep saying this shit, but I know people are saying, "Now you're full of shit, Mario." Well, guess what? It's going to happen, guys. I'm telling you, when that shit happens, people better fucking watch out, because you're not gonna get these fucking bullshit militias. You're gonna get motherfuckers like me, like combat veterans, and then we're gonna get all together in this bitch. We all got our gear. We all got our fucking. We all know how to fucking shoot a gun. Well, I mean, some motherfucker gets out of line, we'll fuck your ass up. And I ain't got no badge. I ain't gonna answer to you motherfuckers. My thing is, if we want to get to fucking that point, believe me, it's gonna get ugly. And
Yeah.
I think people need to fucking get their shit together before that happens.
Yeah, and with all the bullshit of defunding the police, when that shit happens, the police gonna wind up being, because all the politicians, that's what they're relying. They're relying on the force, that because they can control it with the cops, because they have them on the payroll. But they're gonna keep doing this shit. At a certain point, like I said back while in the video, the police are employees. Yes, they are. But at some point, they're gonna say, "Fuck it," this ain't worth it. So.
Which is why, in the grand scheme of things, all right, I'll just throw something out there. In the big picture, does it make sense that, yeah, they want to take everyone's guns and they also want to defund the police? So why? So that they could have the military be the only ones with guns and defend only them? I don't quite understand the theory behind all that.
They're betting that the police and the military are going to be there for them, but in reality, you got to understand that we're also Type A personalities, and we love our country, and we know what the Constitution is all about, And my thing is, we're not gonna fucking fold to a bunch of little fucking leftists who think they can tell us what to do. No, we have a chain of command. And our chain of command is going to tell us what the fuck we got to do. And we still have a commander-in-chief, whether you motherfuckers like him or not. He's my commander-in-chief. So guess what, man? It is what it is. The military is not going to fold to any group. My thing is, we're gonna fucking uphold what's right and what's in the Constitution. Nothing more, nothing less. And if motherfuckers get in the way, guess what? Your ass is toast too. You don't give a fuck. Because I'm going to tell you something. People talk a lot of shit, but what happens if there is martial law? I'm going to tell you something. Like, the police ain't going to do shit. We're the fucking law, and that's it. And you think right now your rights are being abused? I'll be honest with you, man. It's going to be a lot worse. It's going to be shit, fucking a lot of bloodshed, I'll tell you that much, man. And I'm not trying to scare people or trying to tell y'all what to do, or that, everybody in the military are a fucking bunch of assholes, because we're not. But we're going to uphold what we think is right,
Well, I just wish that the generation that's buying all of this had an idea of what it's like to live elsewhere in the world. They have no idea that they live in probably the best country on the planet, and I just wish that they had a clue why so many immigrants want to flock to the United States.
Bro, I could tell you, man, fucking being deployed to so many shitty third world countries in this fucking place, we have it made. People bitch about stupid ass shit over here. Like, seriously, like dumb shit. Like, our system, our way of life, everything here is fucking 3 or 4 times better than most other countries. Guaranteed, bar none. And people still bitch and demand and complain about stupid shit. And I'm like, you have it good. What you want to complain about is nothing to what most people have to do just to survive. Just to survive, man. You know that the simple thing that you got over there where you fucking turn the lever and you get fresh water coming out? Well, guess what, motherfuckers? Most people don't have that shit. The fact that you can go to your toilet and flush it and you got fucking fresh water rolling through, most fucking people don't have that shit. Being able to go to a supermarket and you have vast amount of fucking food, guess what? Most other fucking people don't have that shit. Most other people fucking have to starve themselves to death or get a stipend of how much fucking food they get based on the size of their family. People want to bitch about stupid ass shit and they don't know how good they have it. In most cases, most people drive wherever the fuck they got to go. Well, most people have to fucking walk or getting a donkey or get into a fucking cart or whatever the fuck it is, whatever kind of transportation they got to get to the places they need to get. We have vast amount of infrastructure with fucking freeways and fucking side streets and lights and everything. Most other countries don't have that shit, man. But yet people want to bitch about dumbass shit. And that's the shit that pisses me off the most.
It's not people. It's all the problems come always from inner cities, from big cities, a lot of population, a lot of mixed shit, a lot of liberal bullshit. That's where all the problems come with. U.S. probably has most of the huge cities. You don't have like Czech Republic only has Prague that has over 1 million people. Slovakia doesn't have any. Then London, Paris, they really not as big as you would think. And then you got New York City that has supposedly 8 million people, which in reality there's probably 15 million people. Okay, if you count all the illegals. And the same thing with the LA, San Francisco. You keep going. Chicago. That's where all the problems are. You never have a problem in a rural area. You never have a problem where I am. Because you know what? If there's a problem, I'm trying to solve it, not to blame somebody else for it. That's kind of the way I've been brought up. I mean, Jesus Christ, I came here in '94. I was 20 years old, 3 weeks out of the army, with $400 in my pocket. And if I was able to build what I have with all that shit, and you're fucking born here, Jesus, you're born with a fucking winning lottery ticket. You can do whatever the fuck you want. So there's absolutely no reason for person born in this country to blame the system, to blame anybody else. Okay? And I hate to say it, if you're black, you actually have it made because you got so many more advantages. Ask my kid. He's got a student loans. He worked last 6 months in a stupid ass store arguing with the people, and he paid for his next semester out of his pocket. But I hate to say it, if you're a black girl from New York City, you're going to school for free. So, come on. All you have to do is want it.
I completely agree.
No other country
I completely agree.
Give you opportunities you can get in this country. I don't care who says what. Nowhere else in the world you can literally be a college student and become a billionaire like a Zuckerberg. you know, and now he's a fucking liberal asshole. Like, what the fuck, you know?
Yep,
Not
they
only
just
that, but
they
there's
just
so
want
many-
it all. They
there's-
want it for free, and they don't want to have to do anything for it. It's what I call blissniny. But with that, we're at the 2 hour mark, gents. Gonna go ahead and roll through here. Professional, amateur. You got anything?
Nothing really, to be honest. I got the videos I put up. I actually wanna go over the Area 8 match. I wanna do it through the coach's eye and take apart a couple of stages and kind of show like where I could save some time and try to figure out how did the guy that won the match beat me by so much. You know, that's about it. I got some stuff I'm doing around the house. I have a semi-interesting video on landscaping, something right up the Mario's alley. Since he's a
Oh, I gotta watch this shit.
supervisor, you know. And I might have an interesting video tomorrow because I got a bunch of shit coming from a front yard, and I got my excavator back at my property. So that's about it. Other than that, I'm just gonna keep shooting and having fun. Hopefully, my bullets will show up so I can keep reloading.
Very good, very good. Mr. Mario Mosen, you got anything on deck there, sir?
Yes. Well, actually, I have a couple of appointments this week. Still going through my processing, and definitely got to get myself into doing some reloading. I've learned a lot of stuff since I started reloading, and I think a lot through mistakes and trial and error. It's working for me. But I still think that I'm gonna go back to the old school way of doing it, like I need to start back on my single stage press and just doing them there. For some reason, not saying that the turret press won't work. I think I still have a little bit left to learn. I'm still learning more as I go. But I'm enjoying reloading. I'm enjoying it, the simple fact that I'm being self-sufficient. And I'm definitely going to coat my bullets that I made, 2 weeks ago. I've been slacking, so I need to get those done and see how they come out. And hopefully you guys will see a video on that. But other than that, man, I wish Scotsman would be here because yesterday that fucker was like a chat whore. He was in like 4 chats when I saw him last night. I was like, this fool is such a chat whore. And now he can't be for his own damn chat. I tell you much, man. But anyways, guys, I appreciate everybody on the side chat. Thank you guys for always being here. This is pretty much the hardcore group between 20 people and 17. And, thank you guys for joining us. And thank you, Alan, for always throwing that link for me. I really appreciate it. I was like being part of this chat. And, by the way, for all you guys that need to do a run, you guys got until the end of this week to get that shit done. I don't want to hear no more excuses. I don't want to hear my back and my neck and sound like motherfucking homie from Friday and shit. Y'all need to get this shit done. All right, because me and professional amateur got that shit done. All right, so if you guys owe a fucking run, man the fuck up. I don't give a shit. You go out there with a cane and shit. Get your happy ass up and do your 2 miles and shit. That's all I got.
Oh yeah, something Southern. I do. I've dabbled with the guitar for just a little bit, 30 some odd years. But yeah, thank you everybody for showing up, man. I had the great staple panel tonight, and I appreciate you all for being here. It's been a good night. We had a wide variety of topics, nothing ever planned as usual. Hopefully I'll be able to get out and do a couple of things that I'm planning on. Just don't know what the week's going to entail with the work situation. but hopefully I'll be able to. And Mario, you got to get this stuff done before you start working, man, because once you start working, then you're going to have that excuse. I'm just saying.
What are you talking about?
Like getting your bullets casted and coded and getting your program dialed in.
Man, I've been lazy. I'm not gonna make any excuses. I just been lazy. Plus, guys, really because of this wildfires, the air quality is really bad. Like they tell you not to even go outside more than 10 minutes. That's how bad it's been. So that's why I'm trying to stay out.
I remember how bad it would get in California.
Yeah.
And every year they seem to have problems.
Yeah, and if you guys know geographically where I'm at, I'm in the middle of a big valley called the San Joaquin Valley. And when we have these freaking fires, that shit just stays in that motherfucker, man. So it's like we're breathing that shit until there's a storm or something that pushes it out. So, hopefully by Monday or Tuesday, we're going to get some sort of storm that's going to push all that nasty shit out. But yeah, man, I know I have to get it done, and I've been lazy. But yeah, we'll definitely get it done. We'll make that video, and hopefully the bullets come out good. So they are going to be 4 blue. So those are going to be Eastwood. So yeah, we won't get that stuff done, and I'm going to go out there with my easy bake oven, go and get those things done, man. Yeah, so it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's definitely going to be a hot one here in Iowa, 90s plus. Yeah, Redbird, it's going to be a hot one. I work in a metal facility. Yeah, it's good times. But anyway, thank you everybody. Greatly appreciate it. As usual, keep the magazines loaded and one in the chamber. Thank you very much, all. Greatly appreciate you. And as always, in the end, for Midas Welby, woo!